India has summoned a senior US diplomat after an oil tanker was attacked near Oman. 3 Indian nationals are still missing after suspected US strike on a second ship off the coast of Oman. New Delhi has lodged a strong protest with Trump's envoy over the tanker attack, making it clear that India will not quietly accept suspected US actions. At the same time, Trump himself appears to admit that US forces have been taking out oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz.
Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships.
India's Ministry of External Affairs has summoned the US chargé d'affaires in New Delhi, demanding answers over the strikes on ships carrying Indian crews. Chargé d'affaires Jason Meeks was called in so that India could formally protest the attack on a vessel hit off Oman's coast, where Indian sailors were among those on board. The June 9th attack on the tanker Settebello left 3 Indian crew members missing, as the MEA confirmed, deepening the sense of urgency in New Delhi. Meeks was summoned because US Ambassador Sergio Gore was out of the capital, making the chargé d'affaires the highest available American representative. While India expressed serious concerns, no formal written démarche was issued this time, reflecting a calibrated but firm response. The Settebello was sailing from China to the United Arab Emirates with a crew of 28 on board, including 24 Indian nationals, when it was attacked. Omani armed forces managed to rescue 21 of the Indian crew members, after which India released a strongly worded statement condemning the June 9th attack and calling for de-escalation. The MEA statement said, and I quote, "We condemn the attack on the commercial vessel Settebello off the coast of Oman earlier today. Of the 24 Indian crew on board, 21 Indians have been rescued thus far and 03 Indians are reportedly missing. Our embassy in Oman is closely monitoring the situation and proactively coordinating with the Omani authorities in the ongoing search and rescue operation." The continuing incidents of attacks on shipping in the region are deeply worrisome and a direct result of the ongoing conflict in the region. We reiterate our call for immediate de-escalation of tensions, and the conclusion of ongoing negotiations for diplomatic solutions so that peace and stability can return to the region. The targeting of commercial shipping and civilian infrastructure in the region must end, and free and unimpeded navigation and commerce through the international waterways in the region in keeping with international law must be restored at the earliest. End quote. On June 8th, US forces attacked another vessel, the MT Marivex, which also carried 24 Indian crew members, once again putting Indian citizens in harm's way. In that case, the Indians were rescued by the Omani military after US Central Command disabled the ship in what it described as an operation against Iranian-linked shipping. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump publicly revealed that US forces had recently taken out 22 ships, a boast that has alarmed many countries whose citizens crew merchant vessels across the Gulf.
You know, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships, late at night with no lights, because they don't have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I've been working with Iran for a number of months, and they should sign their deal. It's a good deal. It doesn't give them the right to have a nuclear weapon. In fact, it totally prohibits them from ever having a nuclear weapon. And it was just tap, tap, tap. I don't know what they're doing. So they then shot at our helicopter. Very expensive helicopter, by the way, but much more importantly, the 2 men, fortunately, they're okay. But an amazing rescue. If you ever get a clip, you won't believe the rescue, how cool it was. The equipment we have. Look, we have the strongest military in the world. And I gave them a break at the request of Pakistan. The Field Marshal and the Prime Minister of Pakistan are great. We stopped them from going to war with India. You would have had a nuclear war if it wasn't for me. But they became friendly to me, very friendly, and they're close to Iran, and they worked, and they still are working on trying them to do what's right. But we want a deal that's meaningful. We want a deal that works. We don't want to just have a Barack Hussein Obama deal, JCPOA, the worst deal. That was a path to a nuclear. It's the exact opposite. You know, I like on television, they say, oh, they should have kept that deal. First of all, it was over. It was a short-term deal. But that deal was a path to a nuclear weapon. This is a path against a nuclear. You can't have a nuclear weapon. His was a path to a nuclear weapon. They were developing during his administration nuclear weapon. If they had a nuclear weapon, there'd be no Israel, there'd be no Middle East, and they would have absolutely shot at us. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today, in case you miss it, in case you don't turn on your television set. And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers because, you know what? They dealt with some very stupid presidents. I have to say that. I'm embarrassed to say it. Some very stupid people were sitting here.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.